Senator Reed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Warsh. Until you dispose of all the assets you've identified to the Office of Government Ethics, you will not be in compliance. Is that correct?
That's not my understanding. My understanding is that a signed ethics agreement provides duties and responsibilities on me and duties and responsibilities on the government, and that's what the nature of the ethics agreement is.
You have an agreement that within 90 days you will dispose of all your assets. All your assets. Is that correct?
Senator, I have an agreement within 90 days so that there is no appearance of anything inappropriate, that I would divest all of my assets, the majority of which before sworn in. What I've disclosed, Senator, is all the information that is mine to disclose. I've shared all information about assets that I control and that I can share, which I did much to the satisfaction of the Government Ethics Office.
Excuse me. What you've said is that you will take the oath, if confirmed as chairman, with assets that have already been identified as presenting potential conflicts of interest. Will you agree to not take the oath until you have fully disposed all the assets that you've been identified?
Senator, I'll agree to take the oath pursuant to the terms of the ethics agreement that I struck with the Office of Government Ethics. I don't think anyone could do more than that other than me. I've agreed to divest even more assets so that I will have virtually no financial assets.
The divestiture is totally up to you. You can select what assets you're disposing of, what assets you're keeping. Is that correct? And then still be sworn in as chairman.
The divestiture is up to the agreement that I struck with the Office of Government Ethics.
Who makes the decision as to what assets are divested, you or the Office of Government Ethics?
Both of us. That's why it's an agreement.
Excuse me. I must commend you on the way you can circularly go around questions and not answer them. It's a skill. Unfortunately, it's not a good skill for the chairman or of the Federal Reserve Board. We typically ask questions and expect to get direct, faithful answers. You haven't given them to the ranking member, and you're not giving them to me. So, again, you feel you will not be, you will be compliant if after 90 days you still have a significant number of assets that have been identified as presenting conflicts of interest. Is that your view?
No, Senator. If I were to violate the ethics agreement, I would not be in compliance. If I follow the agreement, I will be.
Well, that's your position. I think others would differ. When you sell all your assets, where are you going to place the proceeds of those sales? I believe that Chairman Powell has placed them in sort of funds which are very difficult to individually influence. Do you propose to do that?
Yeah, I propose to put them in permissible assets that are as close to cash or treasury bills as I possibly can. I haven't selected anything, but it will be as plain vanilla as possible so that there would be no appearance or reality of having any influence. We'll be sitting in something like cash.
Okay. Now, the question of independence is just one that I think will dominate these proceedings. This morning, President Trump was asked on CNBC, will you be disappointed if your new Fed chair doesn't cut rates right away? And President Trump answered, I would. It's very hard to separate President Trump's obsession with rate cuts, his attacks on the Federal Reserve, on Chairman Powell particularly, and your nomination. So this independence thing seems to have evaporated quite quickly between President Trump's statements and your positions. Again, you maintain you'll be independent of President Trump?
Yes, Senator, I do.
Well, President Trump constantly maintains that nobody's independent of him, that it's his morality that guides the whole United States government, including the Federal Reserve, and that you will be someone who will carry out his wishes. Frankly, do you suspect that he chose you because you indicated to him that you want to cut rates?
Senator, I don't know the reason for the president's choice, but I can tell you what I've been writing about for 15 years and what I said to the president, which is
you're going to I'll cut rates if you give me the job.
No, that's not what I said, Senator. Now, the president, as you might know, much like virtually all presidents I've either known or studied, presidents tend to be for cutting rates. I think the difference is President Trump expresses it quite publicly without surrogates or subterfuge, but presidents want lower rates. But Fed independence is up to the Fed. Fed leadership has to make a decision about what's the right thing to do.
No.
In my judgment,
You're a leader. You're the leader. You establish the moral and ethical standards and economic principles of the Fed. And you just pass it off to, well, you know, it's not my job, it's everybody's job. That means it's nobody's job. Thank you.